familiar with blue and the charmed ones too on Charm Chats.
Hello!
Hello!
And welcome to Charm Chats with Kendra
And Kat.
Today we are covering episode 312,
Wrestling with Demons.
which aired on February 1st, 2001.
Yeah, and spoilers, this title turns out to be literal.
Yep.
Yeah. So, we're not going to...
And fun.
And fun, yeah. We're not going to tangent right off. We're gonna go straight on into it because we have we have a person that we get to talk about.
And yay! We immediately start inside the police station with Daryl.
Yes, I missed him.
You've missed this big lug of beast.
Yeah. He's wearing his normal gray suit with a dark beige shirt and an orange patterned tie. And he's placing a cup of coffee on the table in front of a guy who's wearing jeans and a white t-shirt. And we learn that his name is Mr. Chang.
Surprise, surprise, he's Asian.
Yeah. He's played by Dennis Dunn. He was born in California in 1952. He has 25 acting roles from 1984 to 2005, one in 2012, and one in 2016. There you go. That's his thing.
It's a long, if not prolific, acting career.
Yep.
Anyway.
Daryl is telling Mr. Chang that his source thinks that Mr. Chang's life may be in danger because his picture was in the Metro section of the newspaper, and there were 4 murders in the last week of people who all had their pictures in the Metro section.
And Mr. Chang is, of course, hung up on the fact that because he has no enemies, no one could possibly want to kill him. He is ignoring
so many things. Yeah.
And also, just because you can't figure out the why, doesn't mean it ain't gonna happen.
And I'm sorry, if 4 people had been killed and all of them were killed and their picture was in the Metro section, wouldn't you at least think maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the phrase? Twice is a coincidence, 3 is a pattern.
Yeah.
There have been 4, so this is an alarm.
Yeah, exactly. Twice is a coincidence, 3 is a pattern, 4 is, oh my god, help me.
Yeah.
You know?
4 is well shit.
Exactly.
Or is 4 let's get on this? I think 4 is let's get on this.
Depends on what you're getting on.
Mm-hmm. 1 is an anomaly, 2 is a coincidence, 3 is a pattern, 4 is let's get this. Let's get on this. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's deal with this now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We cut outside the room, and Prue, Piper, and Phoebe are all there. Piper is wearing a black blazer over an orange top with dark red pants.
Nice.
Yeah, and her hair is down. Prue is in tan pants with a black short under a brown leather jacket. Her hair is also down. Phoebe, has on black pants and a pink poncho thing over a long sleeve white shirt. She's carrying a patchwork purse. She's wearing a beanie hat with flowers detailing the hem. And her hair is in multiple braids that aren't tied at the bottom, so they're slightly unraveling.
I did this a lot.
Yeah, and she still has that necklace with the cross and the pendant wearing that. It's an interesting outfit. It's
a
very,
memorable
very
outfit.
Phoebe.
Yes, it really is.
So Phoebe.
Phoebe, this is a quintessential Phoebe outfit in the way that a braless, slightly Native American appropriative outfit is a Prue outfit.
Mm-hmm. And something very classic is Piper.
It's not that Piper is classic. It's just that majority of the time, Piper is boring. Later, I think bell sleeves become her thing.
Piper doesn't have the
look.
It's not even so much that. It's more she just doesn't have the.
Wait. I know what's Piper's thing. The hair tubies.
Well, yeah.
The hair sheaths.
Yeah.
Quivers. Quivers? Do we call them quivers?
They're leather wraps.
Leather wraps.
Yeah.
Those. That's Piper's thing.
Yeah, Piper's thing is
not so much an outfit as it is an item.
Yeah, it's an accessory.
Much like her and Leo.
Yes. Anyway. We find out that the girls are Daryl's source because of course they are. And they're worried that Daryl won't be able to convince Mr. Chang to lay low.
They're right.
Mm-hmm.
Phoebe seems to have a quote-unquote new lease on life and is trying to put the quote-unquote whole coal thing behind her.
Yeah. They do some chatting. Piper is sad that they don't know who the bad guy is, but Phoebe is happy that they know who the next victim is going to be.
That should not make her happy.
Well, at least they know who they have to save, I think.
Yeah. Relieved,
there
perhaps?
You go.
Okay.
Okay.
Because happy is not the right word you want for that.
You know.
Anyway, Daryl and Mr. Chang walk out of the room. Daryl immediately makes a beeline for the girls.
Yeah.
Which Mr. Chang does not fucking notice because he's incompetent.
Well, they exchange hellos, and we learn that Mr. Chang has declined police protection because he's a moron. And Daryl asks if Phoebe is sure that he's the guy she saw getting attacked in her premonition.
She's sure, and he got attacked at night. They can't just, let him walk away.
Yep. And then we see Mr. Chang put on a black leather jacket and leave the station. And
Like a
I
biker
immediately,
jacket.
Yeah, and
nice.
I immediately was like, he better be getting on a motorcycle. Mm-hmm. Because it was like he was the stereotypical, 1950s greaser is what I was, picturing.
Yep.
Jeans, a white t-shirt, leather jacket. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
So, Prue says that they need to split up in order to keep him safe. And my favorite line in this opening, first one to see a demon yells vanquish.
Mm-hmm.
It just made me laugh so hard. Anyway.
We cut to a different location and we're shown an extra in an apron outside what looks to be some sort of Asian restaurant. Mm-hmm. Mr. Chang walks out of this back door to an alley. Oh, well, I never learned about alleys. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Carrying a brown paper bag, presumably full of things, with Prue and Daryl following very closely.
Yeah.
So closely that they probably would have been noticed by anyone who wasn't Mr. Chang.
Yep.
Chang heads toward a motorcycle, ding, 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 in an alley, much to Prue's annoyance.
Yeah. Don't they learn?
Yeah.
No, they really don't. As he fiddles with something on his bike, a guy comes around the corner wearing a red shirt and black pants under a long black coat. And he fires a fireball. He throws a fireball.
He fires the ball.
Yeah. He throws a fireball at Mr. Chang.
Balls of fire.
Prue uses her power to fling it away from him and then runs toward the bad guy as Daryl tackles Mr. Chang.
Uh-huh.
Which
annoys the crap out of Mr. Chang.
Yeah.
Even though Daryl saved
his life. Yeah.
Yeah, he starts yelling at the guy.
Prue uses her power on the bad guy again, and then he does a wire work flip thing into some garbage.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
Uh-huh. He gets up, and as Prue is about to fling her arm a third time, she stops, and she gets this weird look.
Yeah.
Of recognition on her face.
Yeah, and he runs away.
Yeah. Daryl gets up and asks why she let him get away. And she's like, I know that demon.
I dated that demon.
And and now she's getting a little bit angry. She's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I'll tell you about him shortly when he gets a name. We go to the opening credits.
On that lovely cliffhanger.
Yep. And we see that there's no Cole this episode.
No, there hasn't been for a while. I'm not sure when that storyline gets picked back up.
I do not know. It is not this episode.
Nope.
That much I am aware of.
That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, Phoebe's sitting at the table in the wicker room with Daryl. They're looking through the Book of Shadows. And Piper is watering the plant on the table, even though it's very nearly dead. Very obviously nearly dead.
Yep. And so it must be the next day because everyone's changed clothes. And there's, light coming in. Mm. Daryl is sans suit jacket, but has a white shirt with a purple patterned tie and black pants. Piper is in a long sleeve blue turtleneck and gray, dark gray pants with her hair down. Phoebe,
Again,
is in a long sleeve pink top and jeans with her hair mostly down. Except for a couple of braids that look to be attached by a thick headband that I believe is a light blue with yellow accents. Mm-hmm. And her hair seems much darker this episode than it has been previously.
She's also got that cross necklace on.
Yep. And it looks like the other charm, we actually get a better view of it. It looks like it's a half of a best friends type charm, where it looks like one charm has been split into two pieces.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, like that, except hers has jagged.
Yes, and mine is the Rebel Alliance logo.
Yeah. Hers was, I'm assuming not.
No, I don't think hers was Star Wars themed.
Not anyway, so much. But Phoebe, it might not be that, but that's what it kind of looked like.
Yeah.
But so her hair in this episode drives me just a little crazy.
It's very inconsistent.
Because, well, it's not even so much that. She's supposed to still be a blonde. And it is so dark to start with. And then, spoiler, it gets dark again later.
I think maybe this scene was in, reshoots or pickups or something?
No, that's the issue, is her hair does get darker later.
I don't
know.
But
this is not blonde.
No,
what
it's
she
not.
is now is dirty brown, but it is not blonde, and she's supposed to be a blonde. Like, since
Honestly,
the episode
it's-
when she went blonde, her hair has gotten significantly darker every episode.
Because it's been washing out.
Right.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't understand why they're still thinking she's a blonde or saying that she's a blonde, because she's totally not a blonde.
Okay. We're going to drop this now.
I know. Okay.
Because very soon she won't be a blonde. And it will be demonstrably obvious to anyone watching the episode that she is no longer a blonde. So anyway, Phoebe, as an aside to Daryl, says that Piper waters when she's nervous. So Piper starts babbling. And Phoebe's like, she also does that when she's nervous.
Yeah. She babbles on the whole "my boyfriend is a demon" thing.
Mm-hmm. It's now a commonality between all three sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Meme.
Yep. So Piper resents the fact that that Phoebe is all she babbles when she's nervous.
Prue walks in.
She's wearing a white tank top with black bra straps showing and black leather pants. She's holding a yearbook, asking what Piper is babbling about.
Phoebe laughs.
And Piper says that she'd freeze them both if she could.
Oh, honey, we know.
Mm-hmm.
Prue opens the yearbook to a picture of the demon's head photoshopped onto someone wearing a football jersey.
Yeah.
And doing that kneeling thing where he's got, like, the ball in one hand, like Charlie Brown's about to kick it and he's got to take it away.
Yep. And we learn that his name is Tom Peters.
Mm-hmm.
The most generic white boy name.
John Smith?
Yeah, but John Smith
Is the original.
original,
white boy
but
name.
Tom Peters is
Wait.
very generic.
No, hang on. Sorry, for some reason my brain stopped on Bob Rohrman. Which is not generic at all.
Bob Rohrman.
I finally passed one of his dealerships the other week.
Oh, man.
Sorry. Bob Rohrman is a Chicago area, as far as I know, dealership, and his ads all involve an animated lion.
Yeah, and he is a character unto himself.
Oh my god, he's got such a cute little face.
Oh, man. Anyway, we're not going to tangent on Bob Rohrman now.
We're not. But no, like, Bob Johnson, like,
Yeah, no.
that's super generic.
Yeah, no,
Tom
but-
Peters. Peters is actually kind of a weird last name. Like, it's not super generic, but like,
But it's much more generic than anything that we've seen in this show so far. Really.
what was Dan's last name?
I don't think we ever learned it, did we?
I'm pretty sure we got it. Yeah,
Did we?
I'm pretty fucking sure. I just don't remember.
I
what
have
it was.
forgotten Dan, so I don't remember.
How can you forget that greasy ass
Oh,
hair?
God, because I have put it from my mind. He no longer exists. Anyway, Tom Peters is played by Marco Sanchez, which is why I say Tom Peters, the most white boy name. He's played by a Latino guy. Like, all right, sure. He was born in California in 1970. He started acting in 1991, and he's still going. I vaguely remember him from his 7 episodes on NCIS, but most people will probably recognize him from SeaQuest 2032. He was on that show from 1993 to 95 in 44 episodes out of the 57 episodes that it ran for. And he was also on Walker, Texas Ranger for like 16 episodes between 1997 and 1999.
Solid recurring roles.
Yeah, so he did have a few roles that people might have recognized him in before he was on this show. Anyway,
Phoebe comments about the fact that Tom was the captain of the college football team.
which confuses me as to why he was in a high school yearbook.
Continuity error.
Mm-hmm.
Prue calls out for Leo. Daryl is like, oh yeah, I remember him from like 5 or 6 years before, because he blew out his knee 3 weeks into his rookie year, and then there was rumors of gambling debts, and he kind of just flew the coop.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Daryl, do you pay attention this much to stuff that long ago?
Hey, you know, Daryl... Sorry, I just edited the last episode, and so my brain wants to say Daryl is like layers instead of like onions. Oh, God.
Yeah, he's got onions.
Yeah. Anyway, Daryl has many facets of his personality we have yet to learn.
Mm-hmm. He's
Anyway.
also cut.
Well, there is that.
Yeah.
Prue wonders if his mom still lives in town.
And then calls out for Leo again.
As she
About
walks,
200% more pissed.
yeah, as she walks out of the room. Piper, Phoebe, and Daryl go into the kitchen where Prue is, and then Leo orbs in. He's wearing a light tan jacket over a blue ribbed sweater with a darker blue, like, stripe detailing across the chest.
For Piper's pleasure.
Yeah, and dark pants.
He and Piper kiss. Prue's like, dude, where the fuck were you?
And he says that he had a situation.
Piper, of course, starts babbling about them changing their minds about letting her and Leo get married. But he's like, no. That's not the issue.
I kind of lost the wedding ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Daryl says something about having a ring guy, which I thought was very funny.
Yeah, and Piper stops him, and she's like, no. This was our mom's ring, and he was going to give it, I gave it to him, and he was going to give it back to me at the perfect romantic moment, which I think is really cute.
It is really cute, but it's also kind of silly if you think about it.
I think it's really sweet, because, like, if you know you're going to get, like, officially engaged at some point, then you like proposal can be a surprise. Oh, there were those two girls who were planning to propose to each other at the Memphis Zoo.
Yeah,
it's really cute
because it was like where they had their first date or something. Cute.
One of them gets down on her knees, and the second one starts jumping up and down, covering her mouth, and turns around and runs for her purse and pulls out the box that she was gonna use.
It was like, so cute.
It's so pure.
Yeah,
it's so pure.
It was
it's
so
such an adorable video.
It was so cute.
But yeah,
anyway.
I think that's a really cute idea. Like, you've agreed that you're going to get engaged at some point. Sarah and Danny did this where they knew it was going to happen. The surprise was when they were getting the ring.
I guess. I don't know. I'm one of those where if you already have the ring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, who else is going to give him their mother's ring? Grandma's dead. Mom's dead. Dad's AWOL.
No,
like,
and I get
Dad
that.
didn't even have the ring in the first place, so why would he go to Dad? Like...
No, and I get that. I just think it's one of those where, like, I don't... Maybe it's just my own, like, personality traits, I guess.
You don't want to know you're getting engaged until you get engaged?
Yeah, but it's
Except there's always going to be a point where you don't know you're getting engaged, and, hey, I like having input on shit.
No, and that's fine, and I totally get that, but it's also the, like, if I am giving you a ring to give to me, just give it to me. I'd like to wear it now, please. Like, I know we're already engaged. Can you just put it on my finger, please? Okay.
That's because you're way less romantic than Piper.
Yeah.
Because she's like, no, a proposal is an event. I want that event.
Yeah.
We already have the ring. We don't have to spend money on it, obviously. And now that we have been given the okay to have the event, here, make the event happen, Leo.
I think maybe that's my issue is I'm not like it's not that I'm not a romantic because I am a bit of a romantic. It's just I don't understand the big.
You're a lith romantic.
Yes, I'm a lith romantic. Yes, I'm also a pan romantic.
Sorry for the viewers. I had my fingers very close together because she's just a little romantic.
Yeah, it's a joke. Because I am actually lith romantic. So. And
this ace loves puns.
Yes. Anyway,
little pancake you.
Yeah, I love being a pancake. But no, it's not that I'm not romantic. It's just that I think for me, I don't feel the need for such a big fuss to be made. Mm-hmm. I think that's more what it is. It's like I don't need a whole big production. Like I don't understand like the promposal thing. Like I don't know when that started, but I want it to go away.
Okay, my favorite promposal ever is the guy who just gave the girl a potato with a note that says about how roses die but potatoes live forever.
Okay, that's beautiful. See, that I'd be cool with. I hand you a potato. Wanna go to prom? That'd be great. Oh, man. Yeah, no. See, promposals weren't a thing when I was
be my
in
prom
school.
date?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's get back to the show before we both lose our minds. All right?
That happened a long time ago. I think we missed the boat on that.
True. Probably. Anyway. So
Phoebe jokes to Leo that it's a good thing he's already dead.
Yeah, he says that he had it in his pocket, but he lost it while orbing at some point.
Prue puts a pause on the possible bloodshed to ask Leo if it's possible to turn a human into a demon. And he starts off by saying, oh, well, there are rumors, and then gets more specific as he goes on. which is making me wonder where these fucking rumors came from. Because he's like, oh yeah, it starts off via your classic Faustian deal, which is a reference to a German legend that's based on the Johann Georg Faust, who was highly dissatisfied with his life, so he made a pact with the devil.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not going to really tangent on it because there's going to be a link on the website for it.
Yeah.
But Faust was born in 1480 and died in 1540. So
Yeah, that
his
deal
pact
didn't
with the
work
devil.
out too well.
I was like, the pact with the devil didn't really keep him alive for very much longer. But all
It's
right.
like how Voldemort sought immortality and lived only about half as long as Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. There you go.
Yep.
Spoilers for Harry Potter. All right. Anyway, Leo goes on to say that humans are basically forced into a training academy and need to kill an innocent to graduate and become a demon.
Gee, Leo, that's extremely specific for rumors.
Uh-huh.
Daryl equates it to a gang initiation, which makes Phoebe realize that's probably why there's been so many random killings.
But it's not really random when they're coming from the metro section.
Well,
There's still a pattern to it.
It's random in that it's random people. It's not random in where they get them from, like...
Yeah, the only thing that people have in common are the fact that they were in the metro section.
Yeah.
I get that. But it was just like, that's still a pattern.
Well, yes, it's a pattern, but it's a randomly decided upon pattern.
Yeah. Prue decides that Tom won't become a demon,
Phoebe wonders how she knows she's not too late.
and Prue reminds her that they stopped him from killing, so it can't be too late.
Of course not.
Mm-hmm.
Prue said she's gonna go find his mom and see if she knows anything, and ask them to come up with a spell to find him.
So then we cut over to Tom walking into an office where there are two men, one behind the desk and one in front of it. The one in front of the desk has no name given, but the other one is called Mr. Kelman.
You know he's evil due to the large boat on the desk behind him. I mean, that's how it works, right?
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, Mr. Kelman is, hey, guess
super,
what?
Super recognizable.
It's Ron Perlman!
Yeah. Born in New York in 1950, he's been acting since 1979. His first long-running acting gig was playing Vincent in the Beauty and the Beast TV show that aired from 1987 to 1990, which also starred Linda Hamilton as ADA Catherine Chandler. So Vincent was the Beast and Catherine was the Beauty in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just going to put those in air quotes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he also played a little character some people might know called Hellboy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a
tiny little character.
Just a skosh.
Yeah. Small,
Tiny role.
small
Barely,
little character.
barely known.
Yeah. And he was Clay on the show Sons of Anarchy.
He's also done a crap ton of voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
He is immediately recognizable to me within about half a second.
Yep. He's been in a bunch of stuff that is in pre-production and post-production to be coming out in the next couple of years, so he's still going strong.
Mm-hmm. I especially loved him in Pacific Rim.
Mm.
Real good.
Yeah.
Real good ending to that role, too.
Mm.
The other guy is played by Marcus Dean Fuller.
Yep. He was born in Ohio in 1973, and he only has 12 acting credits between 1999 and 2007. His 13th credit was in 2016 for a movie called One Fall, which he wrote, directed, and starred in. And it's the story of a man who gains healing powers after he survives a 200-foot fall.
Talk about an auteur movie.
It's an interesting concept for a movie, and I kind of want to see it. Just because.
Mm-hmm. Anyway. Fall Guy is literally begging for his life, but Kelman doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
The guy says he'll do anything, so Kelman waves his arm, and where there's a painting, suddenly it morphs into an elevator door.
Yeah.
And he
He's
tells
like,
the guy, yes, you will. Never say you'll do anything.
Yeah. Don't.
Something.
Just don't do it. It's not a thing you want to say.
Ask what you can do.
But even then.
Well, no, because then they have to tell you a specific thing. If you say you'll do anything, it's just lazy writing.
Yeah, there is that.
Anyway,
Kelman pushes the guy into the elevator, and the elevator goes down and disappears
and he's
into
screaming all the way down.
Yeah, into this you can tell it's going into a hell dimension typey thing because the light turns red, and there's It looks like he's going down like cave walls. It's very
Yeah.
cinematic.
And I don't remember there being like a Doppler effect on this. Which is sad for me because I love a Doppler. Especially when it's in an onion. When the center of the onion is off center. So the layers on one side are thinner than the other. I've seen it a lot. It's fun.
All right.
It's really cool on red onions.
Sure.
Anyway, Kelman turns to Tom, who's just,
hanging
stoically
out,
standing there.
Yeah. And asks if he's going to have to summon another elevator.
Tom tells Kelman that he had a temporary setback, and we learn that Tom has a contract with Kelman, and Kelman has a contract with the Source, and the Source has a contract with the showrunners and whatever. Kelman's contract is to get 5 graduates by the next night. Tom is the only one not to have gotten his kill. And I'm like, what about the other dude?
I think he was somebody completely different, though. I think he wasn't part of this.
Possibly.
Because he was saying something about getting him his money.
Oh, right, yeah.
So that's a completely separate issue.
Kelman asks what happened. Tom says a witch intervened.
And Kelman's like, what witch? How did this happen?
No. Which witch?
Yes, that's not what he said. Yeah. It's a good sandwich place, though.
I know.
Anyway, Tom says that he doesn't know, but he assures Kelman that he wasn't followed because he followed all of his academy training.
Yeah, and Kelman realizes that the witch must have been tracking the innocent, so what does he do? He picks up the newspaper and pulls out the Metro section again.
Yeah, and he finds a picture of a woman named Claudia Gibson. She has no IMDb credit, so I can tell you nothing about her.
Nope.
Kelman shows this picture to Tom, tells him to kill her fast or else they'll be held to pay. And Tom leaves.
We cut to an exterior shot of the manor.
And in the kitchen, Leo is telling Phoebe that she needs to tell her sisters that Cole is still alive because confession is good for the soul, quote unquote. But she doesn't think that there's any easy way to do it.
She says that she just wants to be the best good guy she can be because she can't change things, and reminds Leo that she has a demon to vanquish and he has a ring to find.
Yeah. Phoebe walks away with nothing in her hands, and a moment later she walks into the living room carrying the Book of Shadows. And also, weirdly, she now has nipples on display, so it must have been a cold day.
Yep, I guess.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yep.
Piper is watering the plants.
Because of course she is. Phoebe mentions a couple of spells she found in the book, Scrying for Witches, Spell to Find Lost Love, but there's nothing about how to find a demon.
Piper says that it's because demons usually find them, and then asks if there's a spell that will help Leo find the ring.
Phoebe says that there might be, and she goes to leave.
We time jump to Phoebe up in her room, reaching under her bed.
She pulls out, like, kind of an old-fashioned wooden box and sits on the bed. She opens it up, pulls out a piece of paper. There's a bunch of other shit in the box,
including some other papers,
and, like, a candle and some dried flowers and the wax.
The candle is
very
really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those, it's a very, like, early 2000s thing where it was, like, they would put dried flowers in the wax so that when the candle burned down, it would, like, glow through the flowers. And it was really, really cute. Mm-hmm. I miss those candles.
Oh, the technique for doing this kind of reminds me of a video I recently saw that was all about making gelatin cakes.
Okay.
Well, cakes, really. It's just like molded gelatin desserts where you, like, make a tiny little gelatin mold and you put it in a bowl with a bunch of other ones, and then you put more gelatin around that so they're, like, suspended in clear gelatin. You've got, like, I saw one with a bunch of little teddy bears around the edge.
Interesting.
It's very cute. Anyway, Piper walks in, and as she takes the piece of paper off of Phoebe, we learn that it is a lost and found spell.
Yeah, she kind of reads it to herself. She doesn't read it out loud.
Yeah, and Piper kind of eyebrows at Phoebe, and Phoebe's like, oh, I was hoping to find Cole.
Piper thinks that means that Phoebe means to bring him back from the dead.
That's a sentence.
Yeah.
And Piper is informed that no, she never killed him. And she's pissed.
Rightfully upset.
Oh, yeah.
Just a bit.
Yeah. Phoebe, of course, equivocates, Cole's not after us, he's not going to hurt us.
Which, of course, Piper does not believe is true.
Because she's the sensible one.
Yeah.
And then she asks if this new Wonder Woman attitude is coming from a guilty conscience.
And she says that she needs to tell Prue. So, Wonder Woman, for anyone who's been living under a rock, is a fictional superhero from the DC Comics universe. She is awesome, and her story is loosely tied into those of like the Greek gods and the Amazons and stuff like that. She's been around since the 1940s. Now, I'm not going to tangent for very long, but here's my favorite part about it. Apparently, William Moulton Marston had the idea to create a new superhero based on the inspiration of his girlfriend, Olive Byrne. His wife, Elizabeth, told him to make the new superhero a woman. And so the rest is history. And yes, I said that he has a girlfriend and a wife. Polyamory is not a new thing. It was even around in the 40s.
There is a movie about their relationship that came out within the last couple of years. I want to say it's like Marston's Marvelous Women or something.
I vaguely know what you're talking about, but I don't know the exact name of it. But yeah.
It's starring Luke Evans and Rachel H. something. I forget her last name. She was in Iron Man 3, I believe.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, just you got to find this movie because I've heard really good things about it and I keep meaning to watch it and I just forget. But yeah, it's all about like the relationship between the three of them, because both Marston and his wife were professors at a university, and Olive was one of their students, and the Greaves, is that the Vambrances on her wrists. I think that's the term for the bracelets, the cuffs.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Those are actually inspired by the jewelry that Olive wore.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Which is really cute.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's really, really nice to know that polyamory was around in the 40s, and it's the reason we have Wonder Woman. And that
I just learned one of our first military generals in the U.S. was an openly gay man. Von Steuben.
Well, alrighty then.
Got kicked out of Prussia.
Well,
and Germany and France.
You know.
And Ben Franklin's like, "Hey George, this guy's free."
Yeah.
Anyway, so we jump over into a room with lots of lovely, stupid, tacky trophies lining the walls.
Yeah, and we see a woman sitting on a bed, and we learn that this is Tom's mother, Mrs. Peters.
And that Prue,
who has added what seems to be a leather vest over a black hoodie, but is probably a jacket. She's added that to her outfit. She's come to talk to Mrs. Peters about Tom. Mrs. Peters is played by Shirley Prestia. It's a hard name. Prestia.
at first I thought it was pasta.
No. Shirley Prestia.
I got past that pretty quick.
You did. She was born in 1947 in New Orleans, Louisiana. She died in October 2011 at the age of 64. She had 82 acting credits between 1976 and 2005, doing mostly single episodes of TV shows.
Yeah, we learned that Tom got very depressed after getting hurt, and that Mr. Kelman is Tom's business manager, and he'd been a great help to Mrs. Peters since Tom went away, and that Mrs. Peters thinks that Tom is a good man.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very short...
It's
not
a really...
terribly... I mean, like...
It's a scene we needed,
yeah,
but it's a very, like...
She's a
short scene.
She's clearly a good mom who apparently hasn't done a whole lot to try and find her son, or maybe just trusts Kelman about it. I'm not sure. But either way, she's kind of a dupe.
Yeah. So we cut back to the manor, and it's now been a bit of time. Phoebe and Piper are sitting at a table. Phoebe lights the candle from the box that was under the bed, so it's the one with the wax flowers in it.
Yeah, and Piper is holding onto a clear crystal and kind of like turning it in her hand.
Yeah, it's a large crystal too.
Yeah, she's just kind of like rotating it a bunch.
Prue walks in while they're saying the spell, which is, "Guiding spirits, I ask your charity. Lend me your focus and clarity. Lead me to the one I cannot find. Restore that and my peace of mind." Just let that sit in for a moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Phoebe blows out the candle. Prue asks what's up, and they say that they're casting a spell to find Tom.
There's a bit of tension happening just under the surface with Piper and Phoebe due to
the
where she got the
spell's
spell.
origins.
Yeah. And
which includes Phoebe kicking Piper under the table because she's like, because Phoebe's like, this is a spell we made. And Pepper's like, you mean you made? It's just, it was a cute sister moment, but it was still just that little bit of tension.
Anyway, Phoebe asks what Tom's mom said, and Prue says that she speaks about her son like he's only been gone a week instead of 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Prue reminds them of the other bad boys they've saved, like Denozo. I mean, the priest with the Warlock brothers.
Piper wonders if Tom, or any other demon-human mix, wants to be saved.
Phoebe says this isn't about Cole. Prue asks if she's missing something.
And Phoebe's like, oh yeah, we're missing Tom. We need to go figure this out if we got to vanquish him. Yeah. Let's go find him. They hear a bang at the door, which
nicely changes the subject. And they go into the foyer, and they open the front door, and Prue picks up a newspaper, wondering when afternoon delivery started.
And they flip through it. They notice that all of the pictures are just gray boxes, which Phoebe assumes is due to the spell.
Prue wonders what it's telling them. Phoebe turns to the Metro section and sees a picture of Claudia Gibson.
And I go, wait, this is early edition now?
Afternoon edition.
No. There was a TV show called Early Edition where the guy got the paper from the next morning that featured like a death or something, and he had to go prevent something from happening.
I don't remember this show.
It was like mid to late 90s. It was, I think the actor is in Friday Night Lights.
I don't watch that one.
I don't know his name. Kyle something. I don't really know his name, but it was that sort of thing. Which is not my favorite take on the, hey, you have learned one very tiny aspect of a death of the future and you must now go prevent it. My favorite version of that is True Calling.
Oh God, True Calling, yes.
Which lasted a whole 2 seasons.
Oh man.
And had my first encounter with Zach Galifianakis.
Mm-hmm. True Calling was one of those shows where, like, if they're going to reboot something, I hope they bring that one back. It was such a good concept.
I love Eliza Dushku.
Yeah, it was such a good concept. And
it had really good plot. Like, honestly, I liked True Calling the first season and a half-ish as much as I liked the first 2 seasons of Sleepy Hollow. And then Sleepy Hollow went into the fucking toilet, and then they canceled it.
True Calling is the type of show that when you watch it the first time, and you've never seen anything like it, it's a really, really interesting concept. And it was really well done, especially the first season was really well done.
The basic plot of True Calling is that Eliza Dushku playing True, I forget what her last name is, but it's TRU, is a morgue. She works in a morgue. And
she's a morgue.
I don't know. I don't remember if she runs the morgue or if that's Zach Galifianakis.
I believe
she's
Zach
a coroner
Galifianakis
or something, or like an assistant coroner. And so every morning she gets into work, and a random dead person on the slab wakes up and says something to her, and then flashback, it's the previous day.
Yep,
pretty much, like her waking up the previous day.
Yeah,
and she's got to go prevent shit.
Yeah. Like, somebody on the slab wakes up and tells her, I died, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. Go fix it.
Yeah.
And then she wakes up the next day, but it's the day before, and she goes and tries to stop this dude from getting killed, whatever. Mm-hmm. So the only show that I can say is even remotely close to this is iZombie. Mm-hmm. Which is why I'm...
Mostly because of the morgue theme.
Yeah, it's mostly because of the morgue theme.
Now, I would say thematically... Early Edition is pretty close to True Calling, except it's all happening in real time. He just gets the paper a day early.
Okay.
And there's like a magic tabby cat. And
course.
Fisher Stevens.
Oh, God.
I'm pretty sure Fisher Stevens is in it as like the best friend. And there's like an Irish bar, I'm pretty sure. My brain is getting like Irish theme stuck up with this, so it must be related. I don't know. But yeah, I liked that show.
Yeah,
and this whole newspaper shit is making me think about it.
The 2 shows that I really wish, like, with the whole reboot thing that's happening, like, the 2 shows that I wish someone would bring back is True Calling and Joan of Arcadia. Because they were both such interesting concepts. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to look up Joan of Arcadia. Because I keep hearing about it and I can never remember.
It's a girl who is basically the modern Joan of Arc. And she sees God in different people. God shows up to her as different people. And
as well it should be.
Yeah, and it's it was a really, really good show, and then they went and ruined it and canceled it. And, yeah.
That happens so often.
I know. It's
Except to Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Yeah.
who was canceled and picked up less than 24 hours later.
Yep. Different network. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh my god.
And they have the money and they go, let's be on the right side of history.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is just such a good show. I love it.
Anyway, let's get back to this show, shall we?
They also got fucked.
Well, there
in terms of time.
Anyway, let's get back to this show. So
they see the photo of Claudia Gibson.
Yeah.
They learn where she will be, and as of 10 minutes ago, it has already started, this event she will be at.
Yeah, so Phoebe runs back inside. Piper realizes that she must be their next innocent, which Prue realizes that this means she must be Tom's next victim. And
Phoebe comes back out with the car keys and a jacket for herself and Piper, and they take off.
Yeah. We cut to outside a building. We have some extras dressed in business attire, and they're walking out with Claudia.
And they're walking into a parking lot.
She nods a goodbye to these extras that are walking with her, and she walks toward her car. Like, she pulls out her cell phone, like the little flip phone, and is walking toward her car.
Yeah.
Tom appears from behind a car, kind of does this, like, look around thing, and then follows her.
And then comes screeching around the corner in Piper's Jeep are the girls. It's a literal screech. You hear it.
Oh, yeah.
They stop in the middle of the parking lot, get out, just as Tom throws a fireball at Claudia. Piper
freezes it just before it can hit her. They run over to them. And the only thing that I could see in this moment was the outfits that they are wearing. Because the jacket that Piper has added is a sleek, dark gray. It's really, like, it looks good on her. It's nice. But Phoebe... Oh, Phoebe. Like, this episode is the episode where I go, who did this to you?
Phoebe's jacket is the 3 Bs. B1, black. B2, blue. B3, bedazzled.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to describe how much it looks like a bead factory threw up on it. Like, it is just covered in beads. And not just any beads. There's different kinds of beads, different shapes, different colors, and there were even 2 Asian letters or words, I'm not sure, beaded onto the jacket. Like, just...
She's having an apoplectic fit, people, about a jacket. Which tells you how memorable this fucking jacket is.
Like, it's just nuts, this jacket. Like, I love Phoebe. She's one of my favorite characters. But her outfits sometimes, and it's always her outfits that just drive me nuts. Because it's like, oh, she's the youngest. She plays around with fashion. But just
for me, it's Prue's outfits. Because between the work inappropriateness of them and occasionally the tube-toppy cable knitness of them.
Well, yeah. But
I still think about episode 3. I still think about that fucking tube top.
Yeah, I think the difference is that with Prue's outfits, if I had her body, I would wear those outfits. Piper, in the body that I have now, I would wear those outfits. Phoebe, no. 90% of the time, Phoebe's outfits are just nuts.
Honestly, some of them I might wear. I'd tone them down.
Yeah.
But, like, certain pieces I could see. Not the puke wrap skirt from season 2, but
yeah,
no.
Like, I think that I understand that they were like, she's the youngest, so she can do funny things with fashion and get away with it and whatever. But it's just like, I really think that, like, whoever was in the wardrobe department was like, I want to see what I can do with this. This looks weird. Yeah, let's make Phoebe wear it. You know, because that's just kind of how it feels. None of her shit goes together, really. It's all a hodgepodge of stuff, and it's just weird.
Wardrobe had fun.
Yeah. Anyway, so Piper says that since they didn't bring a vanquish, throwing him into the street might do the trick. Prue, of course, doesn't want to vanquish him.
She uses her power to fling the fireball into a car tire.
Yeah, just random car. She's now ruined it with a fireball.
Well, she's popped the tire.
Could you imagine coming out from your business meeting, walking out to your car and seeing that your tire is melted and trying to figure out how that happened?
I think it's better than her throwing it into the engine.
I mean...
It's a tire. You can replace a tire.
Yeah, no, I get that. But, like, could you imagine calling AAA and being like, yeah, my tire melted? I'm not sure what happened.
My drive belt melted last week.
But at least a drive belt melting makes kind of sense. It's by the engine. It gets super hot. And a tire doesn't really melt
because of the
much.
air conditioning.
Well, that means it's a chemical melt.
No, that means the AC compressor got stuck and burned through it.
Oh, well, there you go. That too.
Mm-hmm. I was worried it was the radiator. And this was over Memorial Day weekend, so, like, they weren't open.
That sucks.
Fortunately, no radiator problem.
Good.
Just $1,900. Because the compressor part doesn't come alone, and it
Never
doesn't
does.
come used.
Nope.
It doesn't come alone. It always brings friends. After they decide to bring him back to their house, we head over to commercial break.
Yes. When we come back, we see Prue, Sans jacket, in the attic, looking through the Book of Shadows. So now Sans jacket, she's back just in the white t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom is tied to a chair with comically large ropes and is struggling to get free.
Piper and Phoebe walk in, also Sans jackets, and Piper freezes him. And it's a nice bit of acting.
It's just a practical freeze, because
Yeah,
he doesn't have to move much.
Yeah, he just kind of stops and is still.
And they aren't throwing him into a grandfather clock, so there doesn't need to be any CG.
Exactly. Prue has yet to find anything. Piper brings up discussing things. The phone rings downstairs, and Phoebe tries to get Piper to go get it.
Piper reminds Phoebe that they own an answering machine. And then Prue says that Leo was right about the Demonic Training Academy because, surprise, surprise, it's in the fucking book.
Yeah. So she reads from the book that it's a brutal training program which destroys humanity and renders the subject demonic. Just sit with that for a moment.
Yep. I mean, it honestly, it sounds like most of the corporate programs I hear about these days.
She says that if Tom has gone completely demonic, he'll have a brand on his arm with 6 chevrons.
A chevron, for anyone who is not aware, is a V-shaped mark that is often inverted so the point is at the top. They can also be very pointed or practically flat, depending on the usage.
Right.
They're typically used in military or police uniforms to indicate rank, or as part of the heraldry on a coat of arms or on a flag, links, blah, 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 blah.
Right. Piper pulls up Tom's sleeve to reveal 5 chevrons. But the way that she pulls it up, we only see lines. They don't look like chevrons at all.
They look like chevrons to me at first.
No, they because of the...
It was the angle.
It was the angle that they were at. They were just lines. Shallow. And they're really shallow V's. But it was just funny because I was like, those aren't chevrons, those are lines.
But like
Anyway.
they're kind of branded in.
They're raised up from his skin.
Yeah. It's fun. Makeup had fun with that, I'm pretty sure.
This means that he is not fully converted, and they can still save him.
Which is a phrase I would expect to hear in very different literature.
Okay. Phoebe says that they should vanquish him. Prue reminds her that when Cole was the hybrid in question, she was all about saving him.
Which Piper jumps on and says, that is an excellent point.
Yeah. Phoebe says she's learned from her mistake of thinking she could save a demon.
But Prue says that this is different, and she walks over to Tom as he unfreezes.
She asks if he remembers her. He throws a fireball at her.
Because they haven't properly restrained him so that he can't open his arms.
Right.
Hands. Yeah, it blasts into some boxes and papers just behind Prue because he can't aim, because he can't move his hands.
Right.
He can open them, he just can't move his arms.
Yeah. Piper wonders if that means he remembers her or he doesn't. And we hear the phone ring again, and then the doorbell rings.
Prue tells her sisters to go find out what's going on. Phoebe is worried about leaving her alone in the attic with him, but she says she'll be fine. So Piper and Phoebe go leave the attic.
We cut to the foyer, and Phoebe opens the door to Daryl in a lovely dark suit, white shirt and purple patterned tie. And he says that he's got Tom's file. Phoebe says that they've got Tom.
And then a white dog runs inside, goes into the living room, and jumps on the couch. And this is my favorite part of the episode.
Of course it is.
It's a white fluffy spitz type dog.
Piper calls out to Rasputin to get off the couch.
And then stops and realizes what she's just said.
Daryl asks if they got a dog, and Phoebe's like, no, that's Graham's dog, who's apparently been lost for 7 years. Phoebe looks at Piper and goes, there might be a small side effect. The phone continues to ring, and Piper wonders why the answering machine isn't picking up, so she heads off to find out. And that's when Phoebe tells Daryl that she cast a little spell.
He says the less he knows, the happier he is.
And we get one more shot of the adorable little dog.
I want a pet. It looks so fluffy.
Yes. We got to the kitchen as Piper answers the phone because the answering machine is completely full.
She opens a drawer to get a pencil to leave a message, and dozens upon dozens of pencils fall to the floor.
Yeah.
This happened to me once in my life. And I think I burned a bunch of those pencils.
Oh my. Why would you waste pencils?
Because I was 7.
Oh, well, all right then.
I was 7 and a budding pyromaniac at the time. I'm no longer. I like fire. But I do not have a desire to constantly be creating it.
Well, good to know. She goes through the pencils on the floor
and then
she
notices that her ring is among them.
Yeah, she grabs it, she freaks out slightly, and she tells the old friend of Prue's to call back later.
Phoebe walks in asking what Piper found. You can't see Phoebe's head at this point. You just see her outfit. Piper hasn't yet turned around yet. She says she's found lost friend's mom's ring, turns around and goes, and your brown hair.
And her hair does look a little bit darker, but I'm going to be honest.
It's a lot bit darker.
But I'm going to be honest. If they hadn't mentioned it, I probably wouldn't have noticed the difference.
It also looks
her hair
a bit
started
damp.
out dark.
It also looks a bit damp. Like they took her to hair and makeup, did a brown rinse, and then sent her, and then like just kind of dried it off into the braids again and sent her back.
Yeah, but I honestly...
It is at least 4 shades darker.
But see, and I honestly wouldn't have noticed the difference because it wasn't such a big difference.
It wasn't huge, but it was noticeable because she's gone from honey highlights to chestnut highlights.
Yeah, it was definitely a visible difference. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, right? So Daryl walks in with her, apparently. She grabs a tray from the table. She looks at herself quickly in the reflection, then puts it back down, saying that she didn't want that back. And Daryl questions why she was a blonde when she answered the door and isn't now. And this is where I go, but she wasn't. This is, I know, I harp on
it's
it,
5 degrees. I told you, we're dropping this.
I know.
We're dropping this idea. The point is, her hair is much, much browner than it was before she walked into the kitchen.
Yes. Anyway.
Phoebe has a good line about how this is a lost and found spell, and she lost her brown hair in the sink.
Yeah, because that's where she did her hair.
So technically, that's where she's getting it back.
Yep.
She then jokes about this affecting her virginity.
Which kind of grosses out Piper a little bit when she realizes what that means. And
that would affect all of them.
No, only if they lost their virginity in a spot in the house. Where they go back into. Because she walked into the kitchen and that's when it happened.
Ooh. But come to think of it, living with Grams, that would have been difficult. So probably they're never going to find their virginity with this spell.
Anyway,
just behind Phoebe, just slightly blurrily in the background, you see the laundry room door start to tip open and a bunch of socks start falling out.
Yeah. Piper says that they'd better be clean or that it's laundry day for Phoebe. Yeah. Which I thought was a great sister moment.
I love imagining how this shot happened, because it is a lot of socks, granted. Mm-hmm. You don't see a person, but of course, the socks are not pushing the door open themselves.
Yeah.
There is someone under a pile of socks
yes.
pushing them toward the door.
Yep.
Oh, I love imagining this.
Yep.
It's like those behind-the-scenes photos of those photo shoots. Like, you see the finished product, and then you see how they got that, and it's usually something ridiculous, like a bottle, like a Coke bottle over the lens, or like someone vaping into someone's face, and then they move forward through the smoke as the person is taking a photo.
Yeah.
Or like cellophane.
Yep.
It's always fun.
Yep.
And I love imagining behind the scenes of weird shit like this.
Yeah, I love behind the scenes stuff so much.
Yeah, props department had fun.
Yep.
Anyway, we cut back up to the attic. Tom and Prue have a scene where he says he's not scared of her, and she tries to remind him of who he was, and says that she knows he hasn't killed an innocent yet.
He says that Kelman will kill them both if he doesn't kill this innocent. And Prue says that she's going to save him from himself whether he likes it or not.
And then goes to walk out of the room.
And she flicks her finger toward him as she goes. And his ropes loosen. And for that moment, because when you haven't watched the rest of it, you're going, did she fuck up or did she mean to do that? Or, like, because you don't really know what's happening. You just see his ropes start moving, and if you're paying attention, you can tell they're being loosened.
Yeah, honestly, at first, even knowing what happens, I was like, oh, she tightened them.
Right.
But
right.
no.
That's what you first think is like, oh, she tightened them up. But then...
Because you barely see it for a split second. You don't see them, like, fall off or anything.
Yeah.
Visual storytelling, people. It's important.
It is. We cut to the kitchen as Prue walks in, and the room is now full of stuff.
There's... You can tell... I hope the props people were paid very well for this episode.
Yeah, they must have had a field day.
Oh, yeah. There's beach balls, a beach umbrella, bunches of balloons, Valentine's Day box of candy, a stuffed teddy bear, a motorcycle helmet, a couple of flags, and a ton more clothes.
Along with a bunch of other stuff that I couldn't even tell what it was. But there's also a small version of Cherry, the bluish-green chair with eyes from Pee-wee's Playhouse, which was a show that ran from 1986 to 1990 and was a mindfuck even back then. It was
Why
sitting
would
on
they
the counter.
have that? Phoebe, the youngest, would have been like 13 when that was coming out. That's too old. Well, it's not too old to watch it, but it's too old to be that in to Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Hey, you know...
And this is from someone who still loves Harry Potter. Like,
well, see, here's the thing.
There's an age limit.
So here's the thing. Phoebe says that her lost and found spell was a little too enthusiastic, and Piper says that they're finding things all over the house, and she's holding 2 thermoses that are for the Get Along Gang, which is a cartoon from 1984 that aimed to teach kids about teamwork and friendship, and it only had 13 episodes, but it spawned
That's
like
super unlucky.
a ton of merchandise. I'll put the links to Pee-wee's Playhouse and Get Along Gang on the website, because of course I will. Mm-hmm. But I just thought it was interesting that of all of the things that they found, those were the 2 things that I immediately noticed.
Yeah. And that's like some deep cuts.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, the prop department just, like, they must have just had stuff lying around and was like, well, yeah, this
what
fits a
random
time period.
shit can we shove into here?
Yeah, but it also makes you wonder, like, how they lost those things and how they lost them in the kitchen. Because if things are coming back to where they were lost...
Yeah, that is a good point.
Like, how do you lose a motorcycle helmet in the kitchen?
Wait.
How do you lose
There's that one cabinet that they shoved
a beach umbrella?
There's that one cabinet they shoved Pig Boy into. That's tall enough to hold the umbrellas.
Maybe. But then how do you lose it? It should be in the cabinet. Like, I understand...
Break in?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I understand the socks from the laundry because, you know, everybody loses a sock.
It's the sock elf.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, how do you lose a bunch of balloons in the kitchen?
I mean, I can lose pretty much anything.
I don't know. I also just... If you remember what the lost and found spell was, it doesn't really sound like this should be happening.
No, it doesn't. But this is infinitely more fun.
Yes. Anyway, so Daryl says that he might be paranoid, but he's earned the right to be, and asks if they're sure that the spell won't find demons that they've already vanquished.
Piper says, yeah, like
Balthazar? But Prue says one demon at a time, and asks if Daryl got anything on Tom.
He hands her the missing persons file, and she asks about anyone named Kelman.
And then they hear a door close. Prue nonchalantly says that the door closing that they hear is Tom escaping.
Which,
this,
of course,
freaks out her sisters. But Prue says that she loosened his ropes because she's hoping that Tom will lead them to Kelman. Piper asks if they should reverse the spell before leaving, but they decide not to waste the time, and the girls leave the kitchen. And then, as Daryl is standing there, a wind blows through the kitchen, making the balloons bounce around. Some cups in the cabinet clink together, and it knocks over some cereal boxes in a cabinet. This, of course, freaks Daryl out a bit, and he's like, and he starts to leave. But, like, it makes me wonder, are those cabinets not enclosed?
No, they're enclosed. But Ghosty's, like, messing with shit. Sorry, poltergeisties.
Yeah.
Poltergeisties. And where do you keep spirits? In the cabinet.
Yeah, as a non-drinker, that joke.
I'm not saying you have to drink them. I'm just saying that's where you keep them.
It is true. It is true. I think I still have a bottle of Kahlua someplace. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we cut to Tom walking through Buckland's. Walking to Kelman's office. Prue and Piper and Phoebe are all following behind him, and they're all wearing jackets again, and Prue has pulled her hair back into a ponytail, which I lovingly dubbed battle mode.
Yeah.
Because she's like walking with purpose.
Yeah, and they're following way too closely not to be noticed.
Oh, yeah.
Again. Mm-hmm. But
Tom walks inside the office, and he closes the door behind him, and Prue's like, are you ready to save him? And they walk toward the office, and
Prue
she
kicks the door open.
literally kicks it open.
Yeah.
Like, hiya, kick the door, and it's empty. And they're confused.
Mm-hmm.
We cut to the elevator going down in our lovely CG red cave thing. And then we cut to Tom getting out of the elevator.
He walks over to Ron Perlman, who is talking with a bunch of dudes in short-sleeved black t-shirts, and saying he has good news.
Kelman thinks that this means that he's killed his innocent.
But Tom says, no, I can bring you 3 witches.
Kelman, of course, doesn't care about witches. He cares about deadlines. And then he seems to sense something odd about Tom.
He literally leans over and sniffs him.
Yeah. He says that he can smell the humanity on him, which was supposed to be drummed out of him by now.
And then asks if Tom needs a refresher course.
And he waves his hand, and lights come on around a wrestling ring.
Yep.
And 2 demons grab Tom and take him away.
And now we've got to the pun that is this episode.
Yes. We cut back up to Kelman's office as Piper picks up a soccer ball from his desk, and the girls realize that Kelman must be posing as human to give athletes a demonic way out of their problems. And Prue asks if Phoebe can rewrite her lost and found spell to find Tom.
Phoebe does so on the spot, because she's so bad at writing spells.
She comes up with, show me the path that I cannot find to save Tom and restore Prue's peace of mind.
Yeah, it could have a better meter.
But it's not bad.
No, but if she took out restore, it would fit a lot better.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
The elevator then appears, which makes them all very happy.
We cut back onto the ground. The guy from earlier is in the wrestling ring with a wrestler in shiny gold pants with the word buff written in red down each leg.
Yeah. I don't know if we ever actually hear a name for this wrestler, but IMDb lists the character as Slammer.
Mm-hmm. And he and everyone and all the other wrestlers in this episode are actual pro wrestlers.
Yes.
This one was pretty famous in the WCW when the show first aired.
Yeah.
His name is Marcus Bagwell,
and
that's real. He goes by Buff Bagwell.
He goes by Buff Bagwell, which is why the words buff are written down his pants, because he is in his WCW wrestling gear.
He was born in 1970 in Georgia, the state, not the country. His wrestling career started in 1990.
And he's technically still active.
Mm-hmm. He's had only 4 acting gigs where he wasn't playing a wrestler himself, essentially.
Yeah, he wasn't playing the character that is Buff Bagwell.
Yeah. But most surprising, he was on an episode of a show called Gigolos in 2014.
Yeah, it's a reality show that gave, quote, an uncensored look at the life of Las Vegas gigolos, unquote, at a company called Cowboys 4 Angels, and it's the number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. A gigolo, in case you don't know, is a male escort, and because it's Las Vegas, it's legal. The show lasted 6 seasons. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. So, when I saw the wrestlers, I decided I was going to go on IMDb and, learn everything I could possibly learn about these guys, because this was amusing the crap out of me.
Yeah, the fact that Kendra did research on this episode was just so lovely.
Yes. Anyway, Bagwell was the second of the 3 wrestlers in the episode. He had the second longest IMDb listing. He's won the WCW Tag Team title several times. He was a babyface turned heel in 96, which I only know what that means because of Open Mike Eagle. Thank you very much. Which just basically means he was a good guy who turned into a bad guy.
Yeah.
Face is short for babyface. He joined the quote-unquote mega stable, I love this word, mega stable, New World Order.
Yep.
And then the WCW was acquired by WWE, and his contract picked up. He had 2 television appearances with them, and then he was released from his contract.
Yeah.
And then he's appeared with fellow WCW alum Sting, not the singer as far as I can tell.
No, not the singer. And Sting, his thing was he had the same face paint that Brendan Lee had in The Crow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fun.
He was my favorite of the WCW wrestlers.
See, and I don't follow wrestling at all. So this is all like new and shiny for me.
In 1998, I did.
Anyway, of the previously aforementioned 4 non-wrestling acting credits, Charmed is number 2.
Yeah. It's very, very fun. And we will get more little tidbits that Kendra learned when we get to the other wrestlers later in the episode.
A lot of more little tidbits.
Anyway, so Buff, or Slammer, starts flinging this dude around.
This is the guy from upstairs
right.
earlier.
Yeah, this was the guy who was talking about owning some money.
Whatever.
Yeah. So Buff is flinging him around the ring in some classic wrestling moves, and then he does a bit of trash talking, and we cut back up to the office.
Prue, Piper, and Phoebe are all standing in the elevator. The doors have not closed yet. Mm-hmm. They're just waiting. There's no buttons, apparently.
Yep.
Not a one.
Nope.
Piper wants a reminder as to why they're doing this. Phoebe says that her sisters have a thing for saving bad boys.
And Piper says that she's going to be really mad at them if she dies before she gets married.
Mm-hmm. The elevator doors close, and it drops.
Yeah, it quickly goes downwards as the girls are startled by the speed, and they scream as it descends.
And then we cut down underground. The doors open, and everyone is on the floor.
The girls are huddled together in the corner. It was so precious.
It was.
It's the best part is you could tell that Piper was leaning against the wall, and Prue was leaning against Piper, and then Phoebe was crouched and leaning against Prue's leg. And it was the most adorable
It was
moment.
really cute.
Oh, man.
Yeah. They slowly make their way out of the elevator. We can hear the sounds of the fight happening in the background. Piper quotes Han Solo and says she's got a bad feeling about this.
Uh-huh.
And then the elevator is closed behind them.
Yeah, we cut back to the wrestling that is happening, and Buff has won the fight. He has pinned the other guy to the ground.
And the way that this entire thing resolves is that a hole starts burning its way through the ring. So basically, a tiny little hole opens up in the middle of the ring, and you see fire and brimstone below, a pit of fire, a literal pit of fire.
Yep.
And at the point where Buff gets off of the guy he's pinned, the guy starts waving his arms and legs. It's not that it's bad, it's that it's goddamn cheesy, and I love it.
Oh, man.
He starts waving his arms and legs like he's actually falling, but what they actually do in post is minimize him into a speck.
Yeah.
And then close the hole.
Yeah.
And this happens every
nuts.
time you see this. This is exactly what happens, and I love it because it's so goddamn stupid.
Yeah. It was nuts. So
because it's so clear that he's not actually moving.
Yeah.
They're just rotating him and minimizing him.
Yep. He's just laying down and wiggling.
Yep.
And it's some of the funniest things ever. Because if you actually think about it, it's like if you watch, I don't know if you saw my Facebook post of what, you did see my Facebook post of Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Without the music.
Yeah, there are these people who are going through movie scenes and taking out all the audio and replacing it with their own Foley work. And it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And someone did this with one of the Magic Mike sequences where they've got umbrellas and shit. And I've also seen it done with, there was a great Vine of Elvis where it was just his shoes squeaking and bad guitar strumming.
Yeah.
Untuned guitar strumming.
Yeah. It's nuts.
It's
absolutely
talented
nuts.
is what that is.
You can just tell, how do they not just crack up on set without the sounds happening, without the CGI? He's just laying there on the mat, just wiggling.
Well, they probably put him on a green screen. They probably just laid him down on, a
Possibly,
green...
though technically they didn't need to because the mat was blue.
True. Blue screen.
Yeah. The rest of it was blue.
It was his blue screen,
of death. Yes. Yep, there you go.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so the hole closes up. Kelman yells out next, and then Tom is shoved into the ring.
We see the wrestler,
beckon him.
in.
And then we end on a shot of the girls looking worried before we go to commercial break.
Mm-hmm. We rejoin the scene as Piper and Phoebe have to stop Prue from rushing in.
And we cut back and forth from the girls to the wrestling during this scene.
Phoebe says that they should go back up and rethink some things. Prue's upset that Tom is seconds away from annihilation. No, sorry, sweetie, that just came out this year. And Phoebe is annoyed that Prue is fine with saving a demon that she likes.
Yeah, it's implied that she's still being salty about Cole.
Piper says that they shouldn't be sacrificing themselves for any guy.
And Prue says that they can't start picking and choosing their innocents.
They kind of picked and chose this one.
Yeah, a little bit.
Picked and chose.
Yeah, a little bit. Piper is still a bit hesitant, but Phoebe seems to be on board. Prue calls out for Tom, and the men watching turn to come at the girls, and then Piper freezes them.
Kelman, Tom, and the wrestler don't freeze. Kelman flicks his hand at Tom and makes a shiny little fake steel ball.
Yeah.
With 3 sharp, jagged blades sticking out of it, hovering near Tom's neck.
It makes a noise like a small buzzsaw.
And it's very clearly on a pole that someone is holding.
Yes.
I mean, you can't see the pole, but you know that it's there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's like
the North Pole. You know it's there. If we grabbed a compass, we'd probably be able to find it ourselves, but you can't see it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
Kelman walks through the frozen group of demons, and he kind of knocks into one of them on the way.
He sways a little bit. It was very funny. He says that he'll be tougher than the new boys, and he pulls up his sleeve to show 8 chevrons. Dun, dun, dun.
I wonder if he's got a thing, like how George Washington always has to be the highest ranked member of the military, even posthumously, so he keeps getting more stars as time goes on, because someone else will need to have as many stars as him, because they keep doing shit.
Interesting.
So I wonder if, like, originally the program started out with, like, 3 chevrons, and he just had 4, and then he kept having to add to it.
Maybe. Who knows? So we then cut over to the police station, where Daryl is looking through a file cabinet.
Leo, and this is in the interrogation room.
With the door open.
And there's a desk in there for some reason.
Yeah.
They've, like, redressed the interrogation room.
Yeah.
But anyway, door's open. Leo orbs in behind him, which freaks
Daryl out. He quickly shuts the door, telling Leo that he can't just orb into the police station like that. And we get a quick glimpse of an extra beyond the door, just kind of looking startled.
It was funny.
It was a nice little moment, and I only kind of caught it, like, the 3rd time I watched the scene.
Mm-hmm. Leo says that he can't sense the girls anywhere, which is never good, and he is right.
Mm-hmm.
And he asks if Daryl might know where they are.
Daryl mentions that the girls were tracking a demon, and Prue asked about someone named Kelman.
Leo asks for an address. Daryl hands him the file, turns around, and asks if Kelman could be a demon, or what kind of powers they could be expecting.
Leo completely ignores him.
Looks at the file, sees the address, and orbs the fuck out, dropping the file onto the table as he goes.
Yeah, and Daryl has the best reaction. Oh, see, okay, now that ain't right.
No, it's not.
It was the best line.
It's damn rude, Leo.
Oh, it was great. I love Daryl. Mm-hmm. I have missed
always
Daryl.
Leoving.
Oh.
That's a facepalm.
We cut back to the underground.
Kelman is telling the girls that they're out of their league. And I'm like, yeah, they aren't professional wrestlers.
Prue mentions his deadline, and he says something about admiring her arrogance. And she says that she calls it confidence. Kelman says that Tom has lost, and Tom says that he stands by the deal that he made.
The sharp ball disappears in like a little flash, and Tom gets shoved out of the ring. He goes to stand next to Kelman, crosses his arms, and like acts like a little big man. And Kelman seems very happy that the humanity has left him once again, and that they have a perfect kill for him.
Piper says that he can't kill an innocent if he's on ice, and she freezes him.
Kelman tells her to unfreeze him. When she says no, he starts walking toward her, and she pulls a really fucking good bluff.
She says that if anything happens to her, that he'll stay that way. And Phoebe kind of scampers over to her and whispers, asking if it's true, and Piper whispers back a yes in the best, like, shut up, don't fuck with my bluff kind of way.
Yeah, Phoebe does not know how to bluff.
Yeah, not so much. Kelman says you're bluffing, and Prue does that whole are we thing. And then she offers up 3 witches in exchange for Tom's soul. This, of course, upsets Phoebe.
Mm-hmm. But Prue says that if they win, they get Tom. And if they lose, he gets Tom and all of them.
Kelman asks if she really thinks they can win in the ring, and Prue says that they don't really have a choice.
She does say that if they win, they get to go free instead of joining the training program.
Kelman seems impressed that she did her homework and says that they have a deal. If they win, they go free. They lose, they die.
And he offhandedly mentions, only the source can control what happens in the ring. And I'm like, that's rigging it.
Yeah, but they're evil. So,
true.
There is that.
But there are rules.
The girls move away and they take off their coats. And I was right about Prue's coat being a leather vest with fabric arms, but it seems that she's also added a black button-down shirt over her white tank top that was not connected to the jacket.
Yeah. Piper says that her bad feeling is getting stronger. Prue tells Piper just to keep Tom frozen, which prompts Piper to say that she hates her crappy freezing power.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. As Prue and Phoebe plan for the best way to not die, Phoebe thinks that this is the best time to let Prue know that Cole is still alive.
Oh, Phoebe. Kelvin takes that moment to even the playing field, and 2 more wrestlers come out.
One is a white guy in black wrestling shorts, and the other is a black guy in white wrestling undies.
And we're going to tell you about these 2.
Yes, so according to IMDb, these guys are named Thunder and Mega Man.
But in reality,
yeah, we never find that out.
The
in
black
the show.
guy in the white undies is Booker Huffman, also known as Booker T.
Yep.
So on IMDb, Booker T. Huffman is listed as an actor/producer known for WWE OMG, the top 50 incidents in WWE history, WCW Monday Nitro, WCW Worldwide Wrestling, which I think is kind of redundant, and several TV movies, none of which have a plot listed on IMDb, but all of which appear to only involve wrestlers. And these are movies, these are not like wrestling specials, so it's really fucking weird.
Yep.
He only has 2 non-wrestling credits. Charmed was number 1. Second is some reality show where people have to live like it's the 70s, which ran for 5 episodes and had Natasha Leggero in it.
Well, alrighty then. So he was born in Houston, Texas in 1965, and he wrestled from 1989 and he retired in 2016.
Very long career.
It's a very long career for a wrestler.
Uh-huh.
So that he plays Thunder. Which is just kind of funny. And so Mega Man is our other dude. He's the one in the black shorts.
Yes.
He is played by Scott Steiner. He was born in Detroit, Michigan in 1962. He started wrestling in 1986, and he is still technically active.
Yeah. And he only has 2 non-wrestling acting credits as well. Charmed is number 1. The second is something listed as a Bollywood Latin movie called Enredados, La Confusión.
Yeah,
which was made in 2017.
It's apparently, the movie is in both Spanish and Hindi, and it was made for Costa Rica.
It's very international, this movie.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's so
my
weird.
favorite points about Scott, quote-unquote, Mega Man Steiner, he started out as like a singles wrestler and then joined NWA, which I guess was the WCW, to tag team with his older brother Rick.
Yep, Rick Steiner.
He became, quote-unquote, well-schooled in the art of the suplex.
Yep.
And invented what is known as the Frankensteiner, which is where you jump on your opponent's shoulders from the front, fall upside down, and power them forward into the mat.
Yep.
He could do this from a standing position, while his opponent was running at him, or if they were sitting on the top rope. That's if his opponent was sitting on the top rope.
Yep.
Over time, he, quote-unquote, beefed up and grew quite a mean streak.
Yep.
And then, during the Super Brawl, I think 8, he turned on his brother and joined New World Order as Big Papa Pump.
Oh, yeah.
In 2000, he won the World Heavyweight Champion against, guess who? Booker T.
Yep.
And then lost it to him in either 02 or 03. They were very unspecific.
Yeah.
He cooled down for a while to recover from some back and leg problems, then began a feud with WWE superstar named Test.
Yep.
He was forced to take off time for a groin injury.
Yeah, wrestling is hard.
They did not specify what kind of groin injury. And
he probably just pulled something, but
the last sentence of his IMDb was probably written like 05, 06, somewhere around that. It was written a while ago. But it is, and I quote, "He has yet to return to action as of April 2004, but knowing Steiner, he will return with a vengeance, so watch out."
Yep. Yep, you gotta love
I
it.
loved researching these guys. It was delightful. And then I watched a couple of videos of him pulling the Frankensteiner.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun.
It's quite enjoyable.
And apparently, when he originally had long hair, now in this episode you will see he is very short, very bleached, and then his goatee is, natural.
His goatee is blonde with a strip of black down the middle.
Right.
Yeah, that is his signature.
His hair is bleached, and he apparently confused people when he cut it short.
Yeah.
Because they were unused to that. But he did that after he split with his brother.
Right. So along with all the links to all these guys, I will also link to a YouTube video that my friend Jeremy, who writes for 411mania.com, hashtag not sponsored, sent to me. Jeremy sent me this video because he had to have me bear witness to one of the craziest things on this planet, which is Steiner math. And so I will link to that video and both curse and thank Jeremy for bringing it to my attention, because now I cannot think of anything else. And it is very funny that over the past few days, like gift sets and just still photos from that particular video have been surfacing on Twitter.
Yeah, you sent me a thing.
It's hilarious.
Oh man, yeah.
It is absolutely hilarious. He is wearing a chainmail headdress thing just because.
I gather he does that.
Yeah. It's
I think
nuts.
it's part of his shtick.
It's absolutely nuts. So go to charmchats.com, go to this episode page, find that YouTube link. It'll be there. Click on it and just enjoy the insanity. And just be aware that this video is a wrestling promo that actually aired in 2008.
Yep.
This is a thing that actually happened.
Wrestling
Is
is nuts.
Yeah.
And I would just like to close out this entire tangent section by saying that out of everyone in this episode, Booker T and Scott Steiner have the most fun. The absolute most fun. If this were Greatest Generation, they would be my drunk Shimoda.
All right, then.
Which is not going to make sense to most people, but it's fine.
Nope.
Anyway.
Yeah, they you can tell that they are just having the time of their lives.
They really fucking are.
It's great.
Steiner starts off by yelling some taunts at Prue and Phoebe. Prue devalues wrestling as entertainment.
Yeah.
And then starts heading toward the ring.
Yeah, she's like, people think of this as entertainment?
Yeah.
And like the look on her face was just precious.
Yeah.
So Phoebe grabs Prue's arm. Prue, of course, pulls away and says that Phoebe waiting to tell her about Cole until there was a chance that they'd die so that she wouldn't have to deal with her. It was a bad move. And she walks away.
She is right.
Yeah. She's like, you have another thing coming.
Piper does an adorable little I told you so jump. Phoebe tells Piper that she thinks that went well.
Yeah. And then Phoebe and Prue get into the ring.
Prue says she's going to win to save Phoebe's ass so she can kick it later.
And then Prue, like, jumps up and kicks both of the wrestlers in the head and then does a backflip. And I want to know where the heck she got this skill, because...
Wasn't Phoebe supposed to be the one with levitation?
Exactly! Like, all of a sudden, Prue is doing, like, wire work kicks, and I don't understand where it's coming from.
Maybe it was that boot camp session with the other white lighter.
Maybe.
Because she did that wall run.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, this episode's just a little weird in that, because...
That wall run and that lovely fancy pink bra.
Yep. Anyway.
As
they all start fighting,
yeah.
There's many flips and stuff.
Piper on the sideline is trying her hand at yelling encouraging things.
Yeah, like encouraging things?
Yeah, Ron Perlman walks up behind her with his arms crossed, kind of going like, and then throws Spiky Ball directly into her spine.
Yeah, she falls to the floor, everyone unfreezes, and Kelman smugly says that he called their bluff.
Yeah, the wrestlers continue to beat up Prue and Phoebe, even as they see Piper and call out to her.
Kelman tells Tom that his kill will be his mother. Booker T holds Phoebe down on the mat, and the hole starts to open up.
She yells out for Prue, who's being dragged by the ankle towards said opening hole.
And we go to commercial break. And when we come back, we pick up right where we left off.
Prue somehow gets up, even while Steiner is holding one of her legs, kicks both the wrestlers, and helps Phoebe up.
Yeah, she, like, kicks them in the face. But, like, the way that she does this is he's holding one leg, and she just kind of kicks up with the other one and gets up.
Yeah.
And this is, again, where I go, where did she learn this skill?
Dunno.
Because they don't teach this shit in Taibo class, all right?
They don't. They might teach it in white letter Taibo class.
But she didn't take that.
I don't know.
Anyway. They realize that to save Piper, they need to kick some ass.
So Phoebe grabs Prue's arm, flinging her around the ring to kick the wrestlers in the head. And there's a great slow-mo shot of her foot connecting with one head and then the other.
It was great. And they
both fall on the mat. Prue and Phoebe hold the wrestlers down, and the hole starts to open, and on the count of 3, Prue and Phoebe move out of the way, and the wrestlers, this is the point at which they have the most fun, because they do the lie there and wiggle.
Yep.
And the scream.
Oh, God. And they fall down the hole, they're flailing the whole way, and the hole closes back up. The girls run over to Piper. Prue asks the other demons if they, quote, want a piece of this, and they all run away.
Yeah.
And then Phoebe's like, we might not make it to Leo. And they drag her away. And then we cut up to Kelman's office. And Leo is there looking through all of Kelman's stuff as Prue and Phoebe carry Piper out of the elevator. And we now have one of the worst continuity errors I have ever had to witness. This one literally made me mad. Phoebe has her jacket on again. Prue does not. But I want to know why Phoebe would have stopped to put her jacket on.
I grabbed it on the way to the elevator. There's nothing else to do in an elevator. You're just waiting to get to the top.
I guess so, maybe, but why would you even think of that? Were you really enamored with this bedazzled bullshit jacket that you could not let it go?
Oh, I see why you're angry. You're angry because it's that jacket.
Maybe that's
the only reason you're calling this the worst continuity error.
Maybe.
This is not the worst continuity error they've ever had. I guarantee you that. I cannot put one to mind as of fucking yet. But it's not the worst one.
Maybe that's it. It could be just my bias against this fucking jacket.
I think it is. I can think of a worst continuity error. It didn't happen in here. It happened in The Force Awakens. It's the bit where, Rey's in the Millennium Falcon trying to fix some shit, and she's pointing at, the roll of bonding tape, and it switches arms. It literally switches arms. Entire arms. That's a worst continuity error.
I guess. I don't know. Whatever. It just annoyed the crap out of me. Why would you waste time putting your jacket back on? Whatever.
Anyway, they quickly lay her on the ground. Leo pulls out said sharp ball, which has some lovely fake blood on it now.
Yep. He starts to heal her.
It kind of sticks to the sweater.
Yeah, a little bit. He starts to heal her, and there's a tense moment where it doesn't look like it's doing anything, but he says it's working. Mm-hmm. And Phoebe asks why he's there, and he says that he was looking for them, and he was starting with Kelman, and that the elders think that the key to destroying Kelman is to turn one of his recruits against him. Mm-hmm. Hey, good luck, because you got one.
Yeah.
That's really easy to do, right? Phoebe says that they need to figure out how to save Tom. Prue says that she'll call Daryl and get him to bring Tom's mother to the manor, and then they'll find a way to lure Tom to the manor.
Prue realizes that Tom's mom is the key to saving Tom.
Otherwise, Kelman wouldn't want Tom to kill her. Mm-hmm. I mean, it makes sense. Phoebe thinks she can rework the Lost and Found spell again to find Tom's lost soul, and they leave Piper in the capable, caring hands of Leo. Prue and Phoebe have a moment of tension as Prue doesn't want to talk about the elephant in the room, and Phoebe does.
Phoebe says that she just wanted to save Cole like Prue wants to save Tom, but Prue is pissed that Phoebe kept secrets. Phoebe says she knew Prue wouldn't understand because she hated Cole. Prue's like, no, I didn't trust him, and I was right to not give him a chance. Mm-hmm. Tom deserved a chance. He started out good.
Prue walks off, and after a moment, Phoebe follows her. And we cut back into Kelman's office, where Leo has finally completely healed Piper.
Who says she found the ring, sits up, and hugs him.
Yeah, it was super cute. We jump outside somewhere, I'm assuming outside Mrs. Peters' home, as she drives up in a red sedan and parks her car, and Daryl, who is parked across the street, gets out of his car and goes up to her. And my first thought, and I think it's just because I've seen too many, random movies and whatever, but my first thought was she was going to freak out because this black dude is walking up to her.
And drop the groceries?
Yeah. I totally thought she was like, ah! But no, she doesn't, because he just kind of walks up, and as she's getting the groceries out of her car, he introduces himself and shows the badge.
And she immediately asks if this is about Tom.
Yeah. She's like, Tom? And just kind of gives him this look of
no,
dog
Daryl.
Eyes. Yeah. We go from her giving him puppy dog eyes to a fade cut to an exterior night shot of the manor. Mm-hmm. So now we've had hours pass because he walks up to her in the daytime, and now it's a night shot.
Rasputin is on the couch barking at eerie noises and wind coming through the living room, and we see kind of these gray blobs floating through.
Yeah, and the window curtains are flowing and whatever. And Daryl and Mrs. Peters walk in from the back of the house, and she wonders aloud what the noises are, but Daryl has no answers for her.
Prue and Phoebe come in through the front door and thank her for coming. She doesn't really get it, but Prue assures her that she will soon, and asks Daryl if he's seen any sign of Kelman.
He says no, but that there were plenty of other signs.
And portents.
And Phoebe realizes that her spell has gone wonky again, and that some lost souls were found.
And again, these are these like black and white
Wisps of air.
Wisps of air.
Yeah.
Like it's halfway to being Ghost, like from the movie Ghost,
Yeah.
but not quite.
Yeah.
They're less defined than that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, they're more like, what was that episode where like Prue was trapped in the
Yeah.
in between?
Yeah.
It was that one.
Yeah.
Was that Prue trapped?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Prue trapped with the other dude.
Oh yeah, with the Apocalypse dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
Yes.
Brian Thompson.
Yeah.
That name I get now because I keep having to remember it.
Yep. Anyway, so Prue says that they need to reverse the spell. Mrs. Peters asks where Tom is, and a la convenience, Kelman and Tom walk into the house.
Daryl stops Mrs. Peters from going over to her son. Kelman wonders how the girls are still alive. I'm like, because you took your eyes off of them. Duh.
And then he thanks them for bringing Tom to his victim and orders Tom to kill his mother, which of course makes her look at Tom in fear.
Yeah. Tom throws a fireball at her. Daryl pushes her out of the way, and Prue uses her power on Kelman. He goes flying into a side table,
Which brings our furniture annihilation quotient up to 10 for the season and 36 for the series.
Prue tries to remind Tom about being human and feeling loved.
And then Kelman makes the sharp ball appear near Mrs. Peters' neck, which of course freaks her out. The lost souls go flying around the room.
Phoebe starts to panic a little, and Mrs. Peters asks Tom to help her.
Kelman orders Tom to kill her again, and Tom goes over and grabs the ball.
And there's a short moment where
He hesitates.
and
you aren't really sure if he's just going to jam that ball into his mother's face.
or neck.
And then
He turns around and throws it at Kelman, and because it's a magic floating ball and not aerodynamic, it goes straight into his neck.
Yep. And he falls to the floor, completely quiet. No scream, no nothing. Just falls to the ground, silent.
And then we get kind of an actual scene from Ghost where all of the lost souls gather around Kelman.
Phoebe wonders what's happening, and Prue says that some lost souls are welcoming a new friend and tells Phoebe to get rid of them. And so Phoebe comes up with a spell that is, I return what I didn't want to find. Let it be out of sight, out of mind. Which again, not exactly the best of spells. Not bad.
No, not bad. Certainly worked to accomplish its goal.
But it's also like the wording of the spell is a little odd.
Well, yeah.
And yeah, it's a little odd.
Yep.
Kelman is vanquished. There's a lot of painful yelling. And then the souls, he and the souls disappear into the floor. And
Tom gets a look of pain on his face, raises his sleeve, and we see the chevrons disappear. They are also, much like the wrestlers, minimized.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. They kind
Or
of
like it looks like they pinched together
Yeah.
and then got smaller and then just kind of faded out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of me kind of wishes that they hadn't. Do you know what I mean? Like, part of me kind of wishes that they were still there. Be like, look what you almost did, you stupid son of a bitch. You know? Like a little bit of a punishment. But no, because we can't have that sort of thing. This is a family show, after all.
Well, I feel like the chevrons are supposed to be locking something into place. Like they're linchpins.
Yeah.
Lynch brands or something. And so, like, if one of them disappears, whatever part of humanity it was keeping at bay gets unlocked.
Yeah, no, I get why they did it.
Yeah.
I just, part of me was like, no, you need some sort of reminder that you almost did
Or if they,
this.
like, faded into, not like tattoos, but like scratch marks or something. Like,
yeah, at
if
least
they,
a scar of some sort.
yeah, like not these big clunky
brands.
silicone brands.
Yeah.
But like, you know, red scars.
Yeah.
Like just very
Something.
light, but something.
Yeah. Anyway, he starts apologizing to his mother. She says that everything's all right, and they hug,
Phoebe looks at Prue, saying that some guys are worth saving after all.
which is met with a smile and a nod from Prue. And then we get another shot of Tom and his mother hugging.
And then they are gone forever. We never see them again.
Yep. Kind of like Aviva and
Yep.
Max.
Mm-hmm.
We just never hear about them
Yeah.
ever again. We fade into a shot of Piper's hand with her mother's ring on it.
The girls and Leo are all in the foyer.
Piper is in a brown spaghetti strap, I'm assuming, dress. She's got that tiny little diamond necklace on. Her hair is pulled up into like a lazy, like half up, half down ponytail thing. Leo is in a white V-neck shirt under a gray blazer, looking very stylish. Prue is in a white lace shirt paired with jeans, and her hair is pulled back a little bit on either side. And Phoebe is in a gray long sleeve crop top with Asian writing on it in orange. And it looks like one of those like thermal shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also like a little red like design thing on one side that covers up some of the writing.
Yeah.
And she's paired it with black pants, and her hair is up in double messy buns.
Mm-hmm. We get a little recap where everyone thinks the ring is beautiful, even though they've all seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
Tom is back with his mom, and Leo got Rasputin back to the family who had him.
Yeah. We never hear from the dog again, or hear about the dog again.
You missed the dog.
Yep. Kendra is frowning. It's alright. You have a dog of your own.
I know, but Rasputin was cute.
He was Rasputin.
That's cutin'.
Yes. Blue's cute, though.
Uh-huh. Blue is sleeping.
Mm-hmm. Anyway. Phoebe thinks that her spell might not have been that bad, but Piper says that they'll have to hold a huge garage sale every Saturday for the next 3 months to get rid of everything that's come back, which
Hey,
makes
free
me
money.
wonder. Yes, free money, but it does make me wonder because her spell, if you remember,
It was supposed to return
it
what
was
they
supposed
didn't
to
want to
return what they
find.
didn't want to find. Let it be out of sight, out of mind. So why do they still have all this crap in the house?
Maybe it was because there were things that they lost that they weren't looking for previously. But like, oh hey, I lost some pencils. Where's a pencil? I need to find a pencil. They thought that once, and so the pencil doesn't leave.
Maybe.
Because they wanted to find that once. They didn't want to find the lost souls ever.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just a little odd to me. Anyway, Leo is happy that the lost souls didn't stick around, and Phoebe says that she'll fix it, and then they should go to have their nice little dinner. And so Piper and Leo leave the manor, and Prue and Phoebe walk into the living room. We get a small time jump, and we see Phoebe burning the spell in the fireplace.
And then she sits on the coffee table to face Prue, who's sitting on the couch.
Yep. She says that everything's back to normal, and Prue asks about her hair.
Phoebe says she's tempted to keep it, but thinks the blonde will make a comeback.
Yeah.
Prue asks very handily if anything else is making a comeback.
Phoebe says no and apologizes about the whole Cole thing.
Prue's still pissed that Phoebe lied, and Phoebe says, well, I did that out of love. But Prue's like, no, that's not a good answer.
Mm-hmm. Phoebe can't understand why Prue doesn't understand, even after she just went through this whole thing to save Tom after all these years. And Prue says that she doesn't understand why Phoebe would lie to them about such a threat. And they end with them not knowing where to go from here.
Where do we go
Thank you.
from here?
I knew one of us was going to start singing from the Buffy musical
Yeah.
episode. This
Yeah.
happened before the Buffy musical episode, though.
Well, it's just, the line, where do we go from here, is just so stupid and cheesy, and I understand why Joss used it for a song.
Yep, totally.
Because it's kind of dumb, and
Yeah.
it's way overused. The final shot is Prue and Phoebe staring at each other.
Yep, and then it fades to the end credits.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, with the end credits, that means we are on to our ratings portion
Oh, yes.
of the evening. Would you like to go first?
You go first. I think I went first last time.
Yeah, I don't remember. This episode for me gets a 6.5 out of 10 disappearing chevrons.
How much of that is because of that jacket?
You know, I don't know.
I think it's probably more than you think.
Probably. Maybe.
You are very biased against that jacket, and it's making me a little sad that I can't bring an image of it to mind.
Wow.
It's been a couple of weeks, honestly.
Wow.
I mean, even though I can remember with pretty good clarity the tube top hoodie pocket, I cannot bring to mind this jacket. I can remember Phoebe's weird orange, like, ribbed tube top thingy, and the hair that went with it, but I can't remember this. Which is strange. I remember her t-shirt from when she was wrestling. I don't remember this jacket. Oh well.
Oh, well. What is your rating?
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 wacky wrestler wriggles.
Alrighty then. So with our ratings done, that means we're on to outfits. Do you have a favorite?
You know, just to piss you off, I'm going to say that jacket.
I knew you were gonna. I saw it. I saw it in your face. I knew it was coming.
I thought it 20 minutes ago, and I'm like, yep, I'm still going to go with that. Even though I can't remember it, I'm going to say that's my favorite. Because you're so angry about it.
I am. For me, I think for Phoebe, I liked her final outfit. It wasn't bad. It was a little weird to have a thermal top, long sleeve crop top, but it wasn't bad. I didn't mind it. For Piper, I actually liked the blue turtleneck outfit because that was very Piper. But for Prue, I loved her final look. Like, I think that is the best that she has looked this entire series. Mm-hmm. The white lace, the hair just slightly pulled back.
Yeah, I can't remember that one either.
Oh,
but it's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was such a good outfit on her. It looked so nice. It was very classic. Like, she could have worn that at Buckland's and no one would have batted an eye.
Mm-hmm. It's less unprofessional than other shit she's worn.
Yes. It looked really nice. All right.
And now it's on to social media plugs.
Yeah. So, as per usual, you can find all of the links at charmchats.com under the episode page.
We are on Twitter and Tumblr as CharmChatsPod. We are on Instagram as CharmChats.
Yep, you can find us on Facebook as CharmChats.
And hey, if you got a couple extra bucks and you want to throw them our way so we can keep doing this shit, head on over to patreon.com/CharmChats.
Exactly. And if you join at Patreon at any tier, you get access to the bloopers and tangents that I put up. I usually put up 2 a month. Sometimes I put up more, depending on the month, depending on how I'm feeling. And you get access to our Discord channel, our Discord server, which we're having some lovely conversations over there. Mm-hmm. Some interesting stuff. Our off-topic is also quite fun. And if you want to support the podcast, but you can't afford to be a Patreon patron right now, you can always buy our merch and have our logo on your body or on a tote bag or something else.
Yep, and you can find all of that over at redbubble.com/people/waterflame.
Yep.
Which is Kat's Redbubble because she already had one.
Exactly. And of course, the links to all that will also be at charmchats.com, and the links to that will also technically be in the show notes on iTunes because that's how I do. Mm-hmm. So I think that's everything. So until next time,
sleep tight. Don't let the Warlocks bite.
Bye.
Bye.
Phoebe, Piper, and Prue, they've got evil to slay and some potions to brew. So we'll see where it's at next time with Kendra and Kat on Charm Chats.